is the volume that I will talk in the entire time. Because
maybe you won't blow everyone's ears out for for once.
Because actually I am going to blow everyone's ears out with my insane, awesome commentary. All right?
Should have gone with your insane, awesome comedy. That would have been better.
Yeah, but I want to not lie to the audience.
Welcome back. It's another episode. It's a late night episode. Late night for us, at least.
Late night. It is currently high noon somewhere.
It's high tide. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. If this is the extent of our show, then I kind of feel bad for everyone. That's me yawning to prove that it's late at night. So you guys now can confirm that it is nighttime.
It is the evening. So how's the new home?
It's currently 11:47, 80 degrees outside, and the weather is weathery.
It's 69 degrees outside.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm in a new place now, so you guys listening. And
how is it?
I like it. I actually like it a lot. It's smaller, and I got that fucking tower to infinity in my room, which makes me so happy.
So funny. You were like, Rob, did you see your tower? And he's like, no. And he showed it, and he just goes, what the fuck? It was so funny.
That was the best idea I've had, because like today I was unpacking those boxes, and I was like, well, I'm not going to use this forever. And I'm like, let me just stick it 14 feet in the air.
Yeah, what good are 14-foot ceilings if you're not going to fucking use them?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm thinking next place I'm going to go to, I'm just going to buy that many cabinets. Wouldn't it be awesome to have a whole wall full of them?
Well, that's how a lot of like rural homes are. Because like our house, when we lived in like rural North Texas, we had literally so much, like, imagine if every wall in my apartment was a shelf. It had shelves.
Was it a rural shelf?
That's about how much storage we had, and it's really nice, but not a lot of places have that. But
this cool thing my dad always did in the garage was you get a board.
Tack board?
No, you get a board and you hang it horizontal.
Yeah.
And then you glue mason jar lids to the top of them. And then you stick like all your nails, screws, drill bits, and everything in those, and you just screw them up. And then it's clear so you can look into it, and you're like, I need this. Scoot. And you're like, yeah, nails, man. And I've seen a couple other people do that too.
I see what you're saying. You glue the top of the lid to the bottom of it, and then okay.
And then so they're all like held up in the ceiling, and you can just look up at them.
My dad always just used magnets. He would take like a metal container and like glue a magnet to the bottom of it, and then just dump nails in it.
Yeah, that's right too.
And then just stick it on.
It's like it's a box of tetanus.
I don't know how we got these magnets, but I remember you could tip them over.
Oh, a good place to get magnets?
Fall out.
Go and like find speakers that people threw out and take those magnets.
Oh yeah. He might have done that. I don't know.
Those are strong, and if you run a current through them, they're really strong.
He wasn't running a current through them, but I don't know. I just remember that it was like Folgers cans. Yeah. You could tip them over, and they were full to the brim, and like nails wouldn't fall out. So I guess he got like crack magnets or something.
Crack magnets.
Magnets on steroids. You ever done steroids?
No, I have not done steroids. I was thinking
about doing a little HGH or whatever, GHB.
HGH, is that what Jesus took? Isn't that the profit-enhancing drug?
The profit-enhancing drug.
Pretty sure I heard about that somewhere.
Yeah, they sell it in churches. They sell it at Joel Osteen's church. It's his new product. You can get a free sample if you buy his book.
To make you profit better.
Yeah, to make your donations
brought
larger.
To our sponsor, Joel Osteen.
Yeah, this brings us straight into a great ad read. We are now sponsored by Joel Osteen. We love Jesus now.
Yeah, and most excitingly, Joel Osteen wants everyone to know that he didn't fuck everyone over in Houston and not only start helping people because he was getting a massive negative PR campaign. He was just waiting for the best time to help people, which was after the hurricane, like a week or so.
Yeah, he wants all of Houston to know that.
Think longevity, okay? You can help people while they're dying, or you can help people afterwards, and that's
after they're dead.
And he was smart enough to go that route. And you know what? good on you, man. Good on you. Because Mattress Mac was dumb. He was just helping people like from the moment it started. He helped people prepare. He helped people during. He helped people afterwards. But you know,
why do you smell like pizza?
Because
you're Italian, isn't it?
Actually, I did have Italian food today, dude. I went to this good restaurant. Like. I don't know if you ever heard of this. I never heard of this. I just discovered today. There's like a Houston Restaurant Week. And then so it has a list of restaurants on this website, and you go there, and it's like there's 35.
What website is it? Is it like?
I think it's just Houston Restaurants or something.
Houston Chronicle, maybe.
Maybe, and
I can look it up.
And it's okay. So you go to the site, and it says like it has a list of restaurants, and there's two options. There's a $35 meal and a $45 meal, and then so.
Okay. It's literally HoustonRestaurantWeeks.com. They also have an app.
And thankfully, since this is coming out tomorrow, people will get to use it a little bit. For those who
our episodes, by the way, that's a great opportunity for a plug. Our episodes come out every Sunday evening. That way, you can listen to it on your Monday morning drive to work, or whenever the
your
fuck
life
you
must suck.
Yeah, or whenever the fuck you fucking losers listen to it.
You should be listening to it when it comes out on Sunday. You should be hitting refresh
every fucking 5 minutes.
Every couple seconds until bam, it pops up there, and then the only bit of joy in your life comes in. But yeah, so
and then maybe you'll get to hear one N-word that I forget to beep out and have to go back and fix.
Oh. So so they have $35 courses and they have $45 courses, and they donate like a bit of it every time you order from that menu.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so I'm looking on their website. They have brunch, lunch, and dinner. For brunch, it's $20, lunch, it's $20, and then for dinner, like Tyler said, there's a $35 or $45 option, and they have all of these different options. Here, I'll text it to you, and you can pull it up on your phone.
I don't feel like it.
I'm not gonna give
you.
So
you could go like, okay, so I went to this place called Mezzanotte, and they had $35 meals, and it was like
Mezzanotte.
Yeah, midnight.
Dude, and by the way, I want to say real quick, this is a long it's alphabetical, and like.
Yeah, it's all over Houston. There's like we found one in Cypress.
It's a long list.
They got Cypress, Woodlands, downtown.
It took me several thumb pulls.
Thumb strokes to get through it.
Whatever you call that.
We're not getting paid for this. I'm just. I didn't know this existed.
We're not. It's just
cool.
Like
the first entree you pick like an appetizer, the second one you get a meal, and then the third one you get a dessert, depending on which types of restaurant you go to.
Oh well.
Dude, I got this gnocchi that was like covered in like this cheese sauce with pear, and it was really freaking good.
Real talk though, I texted Shay yesterday after I helped you move in. I think I handed you, when we were filling up your cabinet, I handed you at least 4 or 5 different boxes of pasta and at least 8 to 10, if not more, different pasta sauces. You Italian fuck.
So I had pasta for lunch and dinner.
I feel like your blood is just tomato basil sauce.
No, I don't really go.
I don't really like tomato basil. I prefer tomato and favorite Italian sauce.
I know, like truffle,
a little semen wine,
and
truffle and semen. That's an interesting combo.
Truffle and like I do like tomato and basil, but like I usually go for like the cream-based sauces or the white wine sauces.
Yeah, I prefer like Alfredo or milk-based sauces. Though ragu has, I just made some pasta with ragu.
Oh, so after making fun of me, you're just like, oh, by the way, I eat pasta all the time.
I don't eat pasta all
the time. Did you know,
fun
fact, Italians eat 3 times their body weight in pasta a year.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
And then that...
I kind of believe that because I think I did that like last week.
Like, oh my God.
But I was moving, so like I was just trying to get rid of shit in my pantry.
Are you telling me that we didn't move all of your pasta and that you had already cooked and eaten some earlier in the week? You fucking freak. What the hell,
that's a normal thing. It gives you all the nutrients for life.
I literally, there was a solid 60 seconds of me handing pasta sauces to you.
Like pasta, ragu.
Pasta, sauce.
It's not all pasta. It was fettuccine and angel hair and
it was all some sort of pasta.
Bow tie, and so like...
Can you name all of the different types of noodles?
Not right now, dude. I'm too fucking tired. Because I just did 3 days of moving. Like, my muscles are so...
Yeah, I was sore this morning, too.
So sore.
My shoulders were sore.
No, I felt like that when I woke up before you even came over. But to be fair, you did help me the night before when we were going on our midnight trash adventure, sneaking into places and illegally throwing our trash into dumpsters, allegedly.
Because we're such bad boys, right?
Allegedly.
Supposedly.
So, when
in the eyes of the law.
When the draft comes up and they say, "Have you committed any crimes?" We'll be like, "Yeah, we littered."
We littered. Up to two. I saw one of those signs today. It was like, "Don't mess with Texas. Up to $2,000 in fine." And I was like, "So you mean if I toss this McDonald's cup out my window, y'all charge me $2,000 for it?"
No, it's up to $2,000. You have to throw like 2,000 McDonald's cups to get $2,000 fine. It's $1 per McDonald's
cup. It's 108. It's oh yeah, that's right. So
what?
You'd probably have to do. Fuck. I want to know how many you'd have to throw out.
They charge you the price of the cup. Is that it?
You'd have to throw out about like 1850-ish cups to get $2,000 worth of McDonald's cups.
You were mathing that they're just going to charge you the price of the cup for the litter fine.
Well, it's
like the cop pulls you up and he's like, "I saw you throw out one McDonald's cup that's 148,
108,
and then a box of hot tamales that's $1.50."
But if you buy,
here's your litter bill.
If you buy two McDonald's cups, they charge you tax on the $2. It's not 108 plus 108. You know what I mean?
No.
Okay.
Don't percentages work out the same? So if I got taxed for $1, and then I bought two $1 things, the tax would be twice as much.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's how percentages work, dude.
I don't know why I was trying to do math.
So you got $1 and it's 8 cents for tax. If I bought two drinks for $1, $2 would be 16 cents tax.
I think it's $2.15. Because if you get two drinks at McDonald's, it's $2.15.
No, I'm saying hypothetical numbers that are easy to calculate.
I know, but that's what I think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're wrong.
What?
Well, now
that the tax is $2.15.
Oh, it is. You're right. I'm retarded. I have autism. All right.
Because we get the Houston tax that we pay is like 8.25%, right?
We pay 8%.
Yeah,
on everything.
I think it's like
the sales tax.
I think it's actually it might be 0.825 or 0.0825 or something.
It might actually be 8.2. No, because it's 8%. Because a drink at McDonald's is 108.
Yeah, but total, they round down. But I think I could be wrong.
Dude, that's a good question. No,
in California, it was like
California doesn't have a sales tax.
They some places do. I thought it was like 8.5.
They don't have a sales tax.
I can't remember.
Let's see.
Houston sales.
Oh yeah, 8.25. Nice.
Yeah. Houston sales tax actually pretty right. I'd rather pay a sales tax than a state tax.
What do you mean Houston sales tax?
Yeah, I mean we have our city can set the local tax.
No,
I think so. Yeah.
No, not for sales tax.
Yeah, I think so because you can increase it.
No.
Yeah, look it up, bro.
They cannot. Look it up. Local municipalities cannot set sales tax.
Well, Houston's not local. Houston's the world, man. Houston is everywhere.
The Texas state sales tax rate
Houston
is currently...
is an empire.
What?
What is it?
It just says 8.
So we tagged a quarter on it.
No, but it also said that the full sales tax is $8.25. Shit. Because if I Google Texas sales tax, it says it's
what does it say?
Oh, it says the Texas state sales and use tax is 6.25. But local taxing jurisdictions may also impose sales tax up to 8.25.
So
pretty much everyone in Texas is just like, yeah, I'd say every municipality just maxes it out.
I'll let you sit there and tell me how right I am.
You were wrong.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I was right. So I'm still taking it. I'm gloating right now. That's why I'm so quiet, because I'm just smiling.
Because you got one thing right.
I get a lot of things right, dude.
No, you don't.
Dude, I know my sales tax for some reason.
Yeah, but you don't know your scales.
Because I know I hang out with a lot of libertarians, so I know a lot more about tax than I care to.
Now.
Yeah, I live with a libertarian now.
I keep forgetting that Rob's been on the show.
Has he?
Twice.
Has he though?
Yeah.
Has he really though?
Yeah.
But really?
Yeah.
But really?
Really? That's a Kanye song.
Really.
It's not a Kanye song.
Wow. That's my new dubstep song I'm writing. It's called Dubstep for Those Who Can't Hear.
Dubstep for Dummies.
Dubstep for Dummies. That would be actually a pretty decent album title.
You should write the Dubstep for Dummies book.
Now, is that like an instructional book on how to make dubstep, or is
it's
it
the For Dummies books?
Can I release an album with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dubstep for Dummies album.
I couldn't write dubstep, dude. I don't have enough patience to go wob 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 wob. Okay, that's what I want. Now record the sample, now post in here.
All they do is they just manipulate waveforms.
The wub form.
The wub form.
Yeah, there's a wub knob, and then you turn it from
crank it.
You crank it from Skrillex to Armin. So Armin is 0 wubs and Skrillex is all the wubs. And then so you just find on the spectrum is somewhere in there how much wubs you need.
How many wubs? Quantos wubs?
WPM, wubs per minute.
Wubs per minute. I got about 110 wubs per minute here.
Yeah. I have my computer actually puts out 500 wub power.
Wub power. Instead of RPM, it's wubs per minute.
That's
WPM.
Literally what I just said.
Yeah.
God, you're so dumb. Here, quick, be funny. Say something funny.
Gays.
Well, that failed. All right. Get off your phone at least if you're gonna contribute to the conversation.
I was pulling up our some stuff for later on.
Dude,
the show.
It's not even close to time to help people.
Yes, it actually
we
is.
Can't help people until we help you, Josh. Like Jesus said, I help those.
Like Jesus said, put on your oxygen mask first.
Yeah, put on your oxygen mask first, and then put on the other people.
John 3:16. Put on. Before you put your child on.
You know what? I didn't laugh, but that's pretty good. I will give that my stamp of funny.
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
That made me. That gave me the clever
Made you grin?
inner
You were
laughs.
grinning. I was seeing you
How
grin.
do you know? I have a pop filter in front of my mouth.
I was looking at you.
You don't know. You can't see. My eyes don't show any emotion.
Green is a good color on you.
Your face is a good color on you. Oh, God damn it. You tricked me again.
Thank you.
No, green's a terrible color. Fuck you. I'm burning this shirt when I get home. I'm burning it right now. Give me a lighter.
Wait, hold on. Is there weed in that shirt, though? Burn your nipple.
What?
I thought you were going to put it on your nipple. I was like, ooh.
Bow, chicka, bow, wow. No. I'm not lighting myself on fire in here because I need to guarantee that if I die in a fire, that Buddy goes with me.
Oh, shit, okay. Dude, You know what they added to Netflix? And I just found out? Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3.
Fucking Venom.
Oh, no, with Tobey Maguire?
The worst one. The one that we'd never acknowledge. But I'm watching it anyway.
You just acknowledged it.
I know, because I've been watching it, because it's so bad.
Is there a Spider-Man 3, or is that just your imagination?
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man. They should just name it that, then it won't be so bad.
Yeah, they probably would get better press if they renamed the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man Spider-Man.
Honestly, like, if you change the name to a couple movies, it makes the movies better. Like, okay, Batman versus Superman. Everyone hated it because there was no Batman versus Superman. If they named it...
Wait, what?
If they named it The Logistics Finding the Justice League, everyone would have been like, yeah, that movie did exactly that. They went around and found some of the Justice League. Then you'd be like, oh, wow, that was aptly named.
This is the most retarded bit we have ever done on this fucking show.
Am I wrong?
I don't even understand what you're saying.
And instead of calling it Planet of the Apes, if they just called it Earth a long time from now, spoiler alert, then everyone would have been like, oh, I get it now.
Are you trying to say that, like,
instead of calling it Jurassic Park, they should have called it Dinosaur Park because there was very few Jurassic animals there.
I've actually heard that, right? Isn't that right, though?
Yeah, because Jurassic was Stegosaurus and, like...
Yeah, Jurassic was, like, the last one, because there's,
No, Jurassic was... It goes Jurassic, then Crustacean.
Okay, I thought it went the other way. I thought it went crustacean, Triassic. And Jurassic.
No. So like the T-Rex was like the last. So the Jurassic Age like had.
No, the T-Rexes weren't crustaceans.
Yeah, they were.
They were crustacean. No.
Or I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's the last one because they were the last of the dinosaurs to die. That's
all I'm saying is I remember reading online that there aren't actually a lot of Jurassic era animals in Jurassic Park.
The most iconic Jurassic era animal is the Stegosaurus. That's the one with the plates on its back.
Yeah, the spiky things.
Yeah, and like there wasn't that many large predators or anything.
Looking it up right now.
I need to see this. Just make sure.
Okay, so I was right. Crustaceous
is last.
Is first.
No, that's going forward in time.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's past. That's future.
No.
It goes
up. No. See, look. Carboniferous. Well, can I just find a list?
You're looking at it backwards because they go up. See, it goes. That's years ago to less years ago.
541 to. Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying to find like a geological eras. Here we go.
Here we go.
List of geological eras.
You're gonna learn on tonight's podcast, bitches.
Okay, this has none of the ones that we were talking about.
Eon,
This doesn't have any of them.
Just look up Jurassic and maybe hopefully it'll show you just Jurassic era, and then maybe it'll fill out.
I keep putting Jurassic ETA instead of era because I have big thumbs.
You know, Google's smart enough to figure that out for you. All right. So go down. So if the top one is.
What?
No, this is inside the
crustacean. This is inside the.
So they divide it up. So see, that whole era is the Jurassic. So before it was what?
Triassic?
Oh yeah, so Triassic, then Jurassic, then Cretaceous. So I had it backwards.
But no, you had it right. I had it backwards because I was saying it went Cretaceous, Triassic, Jurassic, and you were saying it was the other way. You were right.
But they said like the T-Rex lived further from the Jurassic Park than we lived to the T-Rex.
Yeah, so it goes Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous.
Fun fact about that. I always thought that was cool. So the T-Rex is further away from the Jurassic Park era than we are from the T-Rex era.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We lived closer in proximity year-wise to the T-Rex than the T-Rex did to the Jurassic era.
Oh, because it was on the end of the Jurassic era, and that era covers 150 million years.
It was into the Cretaceous area, so
and that era covers like several hundred million years.
They all do that. It's just like, which is a just a mind blowing fact.
It puts things in perspective for sure. The Earth is fucking old, man,
dude. I'm glad I
was watching some shit the other day about like a bunch. It was some documentary that was a journalist or like a biologist was talking to physicists about extraterrestrial life, and it was kind of interesting. They were talking about how like we're a relatively young species.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, compared to other mammals and other animals in our general relative,
and then like especially like because like
are older than humans. Like gorillas have been around for thousands of years before humans, if not hundreds of thousands. And so the point that they were making in the show was that since we're relatively young and, you know, several billion light years from us is, you know, way farther ahead in time technically, then theoretically there could be extraterrestrial life. And I was just like, oh, that's fuck. It puts things into perspective, dude. You're just like, fuck, man, we are insignificant little cunts.
So the nearest star system that would be able to detect life or signals from our star system, so our radiosphere goes like 50 light years out. Like so when radio or maybe it's like 100, I don't know. But like however long we've been transmitting like radio signals is if you draw a radius around, you know, our system, that's as far away as people could detect that we're even here. Meaning that if life were to even know that we're here, they have to be in a star that's at least 50 light years away.
Right.
From us.
That's what they always say is the reason for the fact that we don't we haven't discovered extraterrestrial life.
And the galaxy
is because
the galaxy itself is 100 million light years apart.
Oh yeah. And they were, well, the excuse is that, well, it would take them, if you think about where we are and how old the Earth is, it would take them that many years times however many to get to their space age, and then it would take them several million years to travel from their end of the galaxy or of the universe to us. So that's the excuse, right? But you never know, some shit could happen.
Well, here's my thing is, imagine that on the other end of the galaxy there is a species like the dinosaurs that took off and they actually got intelligent. Say they got a space system. Say they're even interstellar, okay? But they're on the other end of the galaxy. They won't even know.
Interstellar.
They don't even
By Hans Zimmer.
They won't even fucking know that we are like over here for like the time that they would even find out that we're here. It would be like 100 million years from now. So like by the time they come to visit us, even if they could go, just like they could warp immediately and get to our side of the galaxy.
That's the other thing.
By the time they got here, we'd be all dead, probably.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, they have to, other species, if they're going to discover us and not the other way around, has to get to the capabilities to be able to traverse, faster than light travel.
Well, I'm even saying if there could be millions of species out there that are insanely more advanced than us. It would take us like 20 years to get to Alpha Centauri, which is like the nearest star.
Yeah. The nearest like major solar system or some shit.
And so say they could make that same jump in like 3 minutes. They would have to still know that we're here, which is almost impossible because the
universe is so big.
Yeah, so one of the ideas they said to get like extraterrestrials to notice us would be to put billboards around the sun. Like these giant like little things, like non-natural objects, so that interstellar species looking out at the stars would be like, the fuck is a giant rectangle doing in front of that sun?
Right. And they'd be giant man-made objects.
Well, to them it'd be made objects.
You wanna take some business questions?
No, I want to fucking talk about space time.
I'm down to talk about space.
At least we can talk about business space.
Business space?
Elon Musk, okay?
Okay.
You need to start investing in space mining, okay? I know no one likes you right now, and I know you're going through your mental breakdown. It's cool. We've all been there. In fact, I did that earlier this week. But like, man, come on, like, get on that. Just mine some space. You'll make billions of dollars, and with a potential of some interstellar. You're just singing like the Inception soundtrack.
That's pretty much the same thing as the Interstellar soundtrack.
No, I actually respect the Interstellar soundtrack because and I'm glad you made me watch it too, because like Hans Zimmer's stuff like normally is
pretty formulaic, I would say.
I would say almost all of it sounds piratey. Like I know, and I know a lot of it justifiably sounds piratey because he wrote the Pirate of the Caribbean soundtracks.
Right.
But like even like Batman and even Inception, it was just like it was trippy and stuff. The Interstellar one, I was like, the whole time I was like, is this Philip Glass? Is this like the Mass Effect soundtrack? It's like this soft tone electronica followed by these big like orchestral hits, like
Right.
And
the Interstellar soundtrack is one of my all-time favorites.
That didn't win an award, like
I think it did. I'm sure. I know the movie won a ton of awards. I'm sure the soundtrack.
If that didn't win an award, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I think the Dark Knight soundtrack is really good, and I think it's very different for Hans Zimmer. It's very it's less like, it's a lot more choppy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot like, there are a lot more stops. There's a lot more like staccato notes and that kind of thing. And that's why I really like and it's a cool juxtaposition between the soundtrack for that movie and the soundtrack for Interstellar, which is a lot of like soft melodies with pads behind it.
Yeah.
A lot of sustained notes.
Percent of that soundtrack with the pad function on his
I feel like
keyboard.
he wrote it while he was just stoned, man. I feel like he was like.
Did you see? He put out some videos when he did Dunhart, I think. Dunkirk. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I didn't watch it.
But with Andrew Garfield.
It was like the World War II.
Yeah. Dunkirk. I haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen it, but the soundtrack, I listened through it on Spotify, and I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty trippy, dude. Like, and it's all effects. It's effects music. You have to go in, like, when you listen to soundtracks, if you're like, I don't like effects all the time, well, then you're listening to the wrong genre.
Yeah, soundtrack music is all about.
Was it you? It was you or Rob the other day was just like, I realized John Williams is just famous because he writes melodies. Back then, everyone liked melodies. I'm like, yeah.
It was Rob.
It was Rob, yeah.
It was Rob,
and he was like, he just writes really melodic material, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, because
that's what movie soundtracks are.
Yeah. Well, okay. So and
like, here's the thing. That's what movie soundtracks were, and it's movies like Interstellar and The Dark Knight and Inception where they have these crazy, and Blade Runner. Blade Runner has a crazy soundtrack that are starting to break the mold.
Well, when music, no, I mean, it's been going for a while, but when movies first came out, they used music that already existed.
Yeah.
And musicals kind of like brought us into the original soundtrack to kind of like, let's write a song for this movie.
Yeah.
And then by the time we're like in the 70s and 80s, like we're doing full-time like writing soundtracks. Last of the Mohicans is incredible, very melodic, and John Williams was doing that too. But then we realized the melody kind of gets away of the show sometimes. You know? Like,
yeah.
So I think that's why nowadays we're seeing a lot more effects-driven music, which I'm okay with.
And here's the other thing about scoring that has had a major impact on the movie music industry is being able to compose music by yourself in a room with a keyboard. There's a professor at HCC.
Well, you could always compose music in a room by yourself.
But I mean, like,
getting it played.
But I mean like full composition, like.
You can always compose everyone composes by themselves. You don't compose with an orchestra in front of you.
You don't understand what I'm saying.
I do understand what you're saying. You're saying it wrong. You're saying you can produce a full soundtrack in a room by yourself.
You can create the full soundtrack in a room by yourself.
Which is producing.
You don't need a recording studio anymore.
Yeah,
you don't need to record with an orchestra.
Which is producing. But composing.
Hold on.
Composing.
Hold on.
You can do by yourself.
Don't stop interrupting me, dude.
What did you said it wrong and I have to correct it?
Well, then wait till I'm done.
Okay, sorry.
We can't talk over each other. It just sounds like a garbled mess.
Okay. Can you cut off the part where you're bitching for a while?
No. I even forgot what I was saying now.
You said you can.
Oh, there's a professor at HCC who literally made his career because he was like, I don't want to. He doesn't like people, so he's like, fuck this. I'm just gonna write movie soundtracks, and so he has a big discography of movie soundtracks, and he's like, he teaches a MIDI class. It's literally a class on how to do MIDI, and he's like, I teach it because this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
He's like, I get 30, 50-page scores from movie guys, and I plug it all into the computer, and I then rewrite it and make it better, and I send it back to them and through Dropbox, and they pay me.
You realize that's just a fancy form of orchestrating or being a libretto.
A libretto?
Yeah, like where you so in the oldie days, like when you in ye oldie times, say you were a really good composer like Wagner or librettist, I can't remember what the exact word is, but like you're a good composer, right? So you write this really good soundtrack and you're like, okay, time to write the words. You're like, I like women, yada yada yada, hey Juliet, I like you. And then you're like, wow, I really suck at this. So you would hire someone who would basically take your music, rework it, and then rework some of the words in there to make it better for you. And And then so basically he's just doing the modern day version of that, which it's a little more extensive because he's doing a full scores and everything.
And it's a lot more complicated, I would guess.
Yeah, but like for example, like the Speed Racer soundtrack that Daft Punk wrote, they basically just wrote a bunch of ideas and they sent it to someone probably like your professor, if not maybe him. Who knows? Probably. I don't remember who did it, but like they sent it out to people like that, and they just put all their ideas together and made
I don't want to say his name on
soundtrack out of it. Well, I mean, you should if it's worth listening to.
No, because I'm going to that school and I don't want to get fucked. I'll say his name if I wasn't going to the school.
Okay, well, afterwards. We'll tell you later. So
we'll tell you when I graduate.
Anyways, the whole reason I was ranting is you always compose by yourself.
Yeah.
But but nowadays you can produce by yourself. You can make music literally like the whole score by yourself.
You construct it.
You don't need to send it to an orchestra and get it paid.
You don't need a studio anymore.
Yeah.
Right. You can, and I mean, it costs
a symphony.
Or a symphony either, yeah. And I mean, it costs a lot of money because I mean, this guy was telling me about. He's like, yeah, dude, my keyboard, because he has an electronic keyboard, and he's like, yeah, that keyboard alone cost me like $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
So it requires a lot of expensive equipment, but I mean, he's like, I don't give a fuck. I get to sit at home in front of a keyboard clicking around all day.
What do you get to
fucking do? And I'm like, okay, that's a good point.
I wanted to do that for a really long time. I also wanted to do another thing, and this is going to sound really dumb, but like the guys that write think about how little work they put in and how much money they make.
Oh yeah, dude. I think about how much money my high school marching band put into buying our music, and I was like, fuck.
Go to like now that I'm an adult, I went you know when I was working with that, I would go to these marching band contests and I'd be like, this band is playing this piece by this composer, and then the next band would come out, this band is playing this piece by the same composer,
right?
And then you're like, you go to a contest and like only like 2 groups didn't use the same composer. I'm like, whoever that motherfucker
and those
is.
2 groups probably still use the same composer.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, they bought old versions of songs that never got sold or something. But I was like, that guy worked for 3 months and made his entire year's salary.
Right. Well, it's like contracting work, man. Like that's the advantage that's like why people do contracting work. I mean, that's how it is for contractors in like engineering. Like my dad works with a bunch of contractors and he's like, yeah, they work for maybe 4 to 6 months out of the year and make more than I do. And I'm like, what?
I always wanted to wonder, like whenever I read the composer's name, I'm like, what's this guy doing in his off season? Is he like in just Mexico, just getting hammered on the beach? That's what they do. Just like
a lot of the professors at HCC, they'll teach a class. They're like, oh yeah, I teach a couple classes over the summer, and then during the fall, for a couple months during the fall, I score films or I do whatever his main thing is, and then he's like, then I spend the rest of the year and the beginning of next year just jerking off in Italy. It's insane. I think if I could choose,
probably literally jerking off in Italy.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, they may be old, but they still have libido, man.
Yeah, you never
go anywhere. Yeah. It doesn't go away.
Libido never goes away, especially if you're a man.
Oh yeah. I think if I could choose my dream job in audio, I'd probably say Foley. I've always wanted to do Foley for movies. You know what Foley is, right?
I'm not aware. No.
It's dude, I'll send you some really cool videos on it, but it's the art of creating sounds for music. So there's this documentary about the Transformers movie and the guys who do the Foley for it, the sound that they make when they're transforming.
So just like the sound effects people?
Right.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I know, I've always wanted, dude, if you like that, I gotta send you this documentary. The sound that they make from when they change from car to robot is keys jingling. They literally jingled keys into a mic and he's like, yeah, now I'm just gonna, and then he spends like 5 minutes
basically drop the pitch, stretch it out.
It's just hardcore audio engineering, and it's awesome. I love it.
I'm gonna drop it 2 octaves, slow it down, add some filters on it. It's like the one I liked was the Lord of the Rings one.
Yeah, that one's cool too.
And then they put this on their extended edition, and they were talking about, they're like, so the best time to record a lot of our sound effects was at night, because we wouldn't get any city noise.
Quieter, yeah.
Yeah, and then the quietest place in where we were shooting was the graveyard. So they said they would go to the graveyard at night and they would have women screaming and hit swords together.
Right.
and,
well,
and blow things up, and everyone. And he's like, I just wonder for those poor people that lived in town that are just like they hear the screaming and the sword clashing, and like, I've been shot, ching ching cling cling, and chains dropping, and like all the sound effects,
ball and chains getting dragged around,
giant metal scrapes, for when they're opening the gates and everything.
The other sound that I liked in that Transformers documentary that was cool is the like when there's like metal grinding on metal and it's that like screeching noise. They did it with like some weird, like they took like an iron pipe and then like a lead or some weird metal and just scraped it together. Most Foley is done in studios, and it's really cool. What I like about it is they have to get really fucking creative. They have to hear a sound and go, oh, I can make that sound into this sound. They have to hear everyday things that you and I hear every single day, like taking off your shoes, and be able to go, that could be a gunshot or whatever. It's really creative.
You know what the ship cannon looks like? It sounds like when I accidentally sat on Buddy the other day. Here, let me get my microphone.
Someone sit on Buddy.
Now let me drop the pitch and let me add some effects. And then we're going to bring out the bass, mix with the EQ, then.
No, Foley's really cool.
It would be great if you actually get a gig like that. You should make a how-to video and then just randomly shuffle all the beginning things with the end product. So you're just like, so when the Transformers transformed, what I did was I took a hose and I covered the end up and I sprayed it against a towel and just went and then it ends up with this.
I mean, that's kind of what they do in this documentary, in this show. I'll find it.
But make it where it's just like the most ridiculous, like that, where it's just like it's like you're like, I just recorded footsteps and I got the laser.
It legitimately is.
I know it legitimately is, but I mean, you should do it wrong intentionally. That's what I'm telling you, jackass. Thanks for making me explain it, fool.
You're welcome.
But
the cool in movies, because what they'll do is they'll get all these guns and then they'll have like two professionals come out and shoot them, and these dudes have like the balls on some of these producers because they'll get right up with the mic right next to the muzzle and they'll be like, all right, shoot it, and you're like, whoa, that's not safe, what? These guys have big fucking balls.
Bing, pew 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 pew.
A lot of the sounds for movies is a compilation, like especially gunshots. They tend to record like 4 or 5 different areas of a gunshot and then combine it into one big shot.
Like I would enjoy doing one for like a realistic movie where a lot of it's easy, like footsteps you can do and water and whatnot. But I also think it would be a lot of fun to do one for like Transformers where it's just like these sounds don't exist in nature.
Right.
Make them. So you're like looking at this like completely muted CGI scene and you're just like, okay, what can I make to sound like that? And then one fucker was just like, hey, let me just jingle some keys around.
Yeah. It's that's why I want to do it. It's really like creatively driven, and I think it'd be really, really fun. And the Lord, like swords clashing and it's really cool too, because for stuff like Lord of the Rings, for sword clashes, they literally record sword clashes. Yeah. So like in a lot of these videos of these guys recording these sounds, they're just grinning from ear to ear because their childhood fantasy was to fucking swing a sword around at people. Yeah. And now they get to do it for a living. It's really cool.
Oh, fuck, you stabbed me. Oh, keep it. We need that.
That'd be a great sound. Hold on. Keep that one.
Yeah. Now get the microphone next to the gushing blood. Oh man, this makes this a lot easier.
Oh, this is gonna cut our time in half.
Badass. Tell my wife I made money.
Tell my wife I make 6 figures.
Oh.
Yeah, those guys get paid a lot too. I think it's a hard industry to get into, though, but I think it'd be fun.
No, all you have to do is prove that you're creative. What you got to do is just make a bunch of sounds and then just sit outside the guy's house and put him on a sample board and just be like,
I'll have to
ching, ching, ching. And then
I'll have to put him on like a mixtape and hold a boombox over my head and
stand outside his window. House, yeah. Stand outside like a producer's house, or
just opens the window and there's a tear and he's like, I love you.
You're outside of who wrote Interstellar? What's this guy?
Hans Zimmer?
No, the actual
Christopher Nolan.
You stand outside Christopher Nolan's house.
He's just
he's like, these sounds, they're so good.
They sound so good.
Look, I made a black hole sound. Well, you know why it's really hard to get in those professions is because, you know, everyone
it's a specialist.
Yeah, that, but I'm saying like everyone when you're talking about movie scores, like it's down to like Hans Zimmer and John Williams and it's
a handful of people.
Yeah, Michael Giorgino. You know, like you have like 5, but they have teams that work for them. So like you probably won't get your name on the movie, but you could probably get a gig.
Yeah,
that.
I know a guy that he lives in California that's like that was a local musician and was kind of just like dicking around working in studios, and he got a movie gig. And he was not in the credits or anything like that. He just did some sound and some Foley and some cool stuff for him. The movie, you might have seen it. It's called Star Wars 7: The Force Awakens.
I haven't heard of that. Is it good?
No, it's bad.
What's it about?
It's about.
Oh, wait, let me guess. Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, it's a documentary on Ronald Reagan's life.
It's a documentary on Ronald. So I haven't seen it, but you know, I'm sure it's fine.
Good,
yeah, I hear people enjoy Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, this dude was just like a local musician who worked in a studio, and the studio got contracted to do some sounds for him, and he just was like, oh. Like he couldn't say anything because he didn't know what movie it was. So like the movie comes out and he's just like, and they tell him, you know, oh yeah, it was for this movie, and he's like, oh.
I bet you they told him. I bet you they told him, but he couldn't say anything.
Well, yeah, either that or yeah.
Because like,
no, I know he didn't know for a while, and then he found out. And I think he actually works for Disney now, but I'm not sure. I don't keep up with him.
I knew a guy who worked for Bungie in the music department.
Oh, that kicks ass.
And I'm like, that's my dream job right there. Because you know what Halo always had better than they. And honestly, I think they kind of pioneered this. I know, not necessarily, but Halo had an amazing soundtrack. Halo 1.
Halo 1 definitely, you could say, had a major influence, at least on FPS and games similar to it.
Well, if you even look up like best video game soundtracks, if you just look up a list made by any old jackass, most of them include Halo.
Yeah, because
Halo kind of started that. It's kind of like more music theme, like movie theme score our game. And
right.
And like, all games do that, which I think is like dumb saying that Halo started that, because even fucking Mario did that. They're like, we're in a water world, we're gonna write a water world song.
That was Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah,
you're thinking of Donkey Kong.
What do you mean?
The Donkey Kong for SNES is widely accredited. The water level is widely accredited to have been like
I'm saying just all video games have had music written for them.
Yeah, but not like Halo did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, Halo is what kind of took it to the next level.
Yeah,
and yes, I know.
That's a good way of putting it. I
really loved the Donkey Kong Country on SNES, but I mean, like, I'm saying like the water world from Mario, like da 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 da. That was written for that level, and when you're in there, you got that music done, bam. Okay, so like, it's not like this.
I like how you
revolutionary, you know.
You said it well. Halo took it to another level. And Halo definitely stepped it up and was like, hey, what's up, bitch?
And
Let's go, motherfucker.
And my favorite part about Halo was then Halo 2 comes out and they take it to another level.
Yeah.
Like, we got Steve Vai to write guitar solos for us.
Yeah.
And just like, oh, shit. So it's the same classical music score.
Halo 3 had similar music to Halo 1, but Halo 4 had real good music.
God of War had a really good soundtrack.
Of course. What's the one with God of War is the one I'm thinking of.
You're like, what's the one? Yeah, God of War.
God of War.
And God of War, like, the way they did that was pretty cool. So the God of War had the brass was a Los Angeles studio. The singing stuff was all done by like was all done I think in like Prague, I think.
Oh man, I would hate to be that audio engineer having to take all of these different
and the
sounds
strings were done, and so they're like they're like the music was really cool, but it was really hard because like you sit there with headphones on and you have to play it perfectly, so there's very little emotion in it other than anger, but at the same time, you know, it's God of War, but at the same time the whole effect at the end is badass.
Yeah, it would suck to be that audio engineer because when it's one thing if you record
Where's my violin part for this song?
Well, it's one thing when you record it in a studio, in one studio, because then you kind of know the variables you're working with. But when you're taking sounds from multiple studios, you're gonna have different background noises. You're gonna have different little things here and there, and it's just.
Well, I mean, if the recording's done professionally, you can trust to a point that it's gonna be fine. But I think I honestly feel like the hardest part is just like combining them all and like think about the little things. Like, okay, when you record everything by yourself, you have a naming system for all your files.
Exactly.
When you get it from 3 different people, it's just like it's like shouting part 1, shouting part.
What the fuck is this?
It's like and like think how much that guy had to micromanage. Like how many phone calls to Prague he had to make every day.
That was probably a rough gig. I'm sure you got paid fucking buttloads.
And the soundtrack reflects it. Like it's really fucking good. And there's actually a documentary, like a YouTube documentary on it.
I think I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
I would check it out. But the reason the God of War soundtrack, because of its use of bass trombones.
Oh.
And it's insanely Wagnerian in the fact that
Wagnerian,
where they have
fucking nerd.
In a typical like orchestral setting, you have a high trombone, a middle trombone, and a low trombone.
Trombone.
Yeah, well, they're all high. But in a Wagnerian setting, you usually have more basses, and they took it to the level where it's just like, yeah, we'll have a one low trombone and then like 3 super low trombones.
That's the best part about being a musician is you just find out that every musician smokes weed. You're just like, oh, this is just a thing that musicians do.
Well, not entirely true, but a lot of us do.
Most musicians.
Yeah, I'd say a very, very high percentage. That's definitely above half.
Yeah, a majority.
But I've also like I've known so many like
squares,
like violin and piano players. They're just like, well, if I did drugs, then my hands would hurt too much, and I'd get the shakes, and then all of a sudden I'm doing crack. No, piano's my drug.
When our hands hurt anyways from shredding, and you're like, you know what would help you with that pain? Weed. You're like, fuck.
Trombones are more notorious for being drunk all the time, and I used to.
And saxophonists.
Well, yeah, because they're like the saxophone's the woodwind trombone.
Kenny G created saxophone.
Fuck off.
Oh man, we're almost at an hour, dude.
Really?
You want to take a quick break and then maybe answer some questions?
Yeah, fuck it. Might as well. We're going to play our promo right here. Yo, thanks for listening to the Buddy Boys. We're taking a break right now. I just had to take a wee little poo. Sit tight and we'll hear a word from our sponsors. All right, we're back now. Thanks for listening to Buddy Boys.
At HCC, it's called Fundamentals in Music. It's a cool class. It's basically like you learn some stuff, the basics of music, and then you play and record your own stuff. It's kind of just to get you, it's kind of to help you understand like the basics of working in a studio. And so, and I'm the only actual musician in the class. And it's fucking amazing. We have this dude who has no, like, music. We have this black dude who has no sense of rhythm. We were playing some 80s groovy song, and he had the shakers.
Yeah.
He was shaking them on the off beats, and my teacher had to stop and be like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I thought that was it. And I'm like, how does this black guy not have a sense of rhythm? Holy shit. I actually think he might be a little,
like Steve Martin.
No, more like
I was
Stephen
born
Hawking.
a poor black child.
Oh wow, okay.
Do you remember it? Have you seen that? What is that? Do you know that Steve Martin show I'm talking about? It's a movie. He was born without rhythm. And he's just like, he's sitting there, he's like,
I just keep thinking of Michael Cera's
it's like he has no
wood
rhythm.
block. I just keep thinking of Michael Cera's wood block.
Fake block.
Fake block, yeah.
Fake block. No,
I just keep thinking of that one scene where he's playing with the band, and it's the narrator's like, Michael had finally found his true calling, and as it zooms out, you think he's like in this band playing guitar, and it turns out he's just in the front hitting the wood block. It's so
because he has perfect rhythm because of one of their
one of his dad's or his granddad's inventions.
Yeah,
I'm looking up this Steve Martin movie. Steve Martin. Bum, ba-dum, bum. He was on Roxanne.
Steve Martin.
Oh, I thought that said Roseanne.
It's an older
Roxanne.
one.
Whoops.
It's an older one.
You don't have to put on the red light. How much older?
Is this going chronologically?
Yeah. Is it?
It's pretty old. It's like around the same time as like the Three Musketeers.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude. It's a classic.
This is a deep cut. Like the 70s?
It might be. It might be later though.
Okay. Here's the beginning.
In the beginning.
Starts in the 70s. The Muppet movie, The Jerk.
It's a jerk. That's it. Yeah, dude. So they had there was like a one scene where a guy's trying to assassinate him, and like he works at a gas station. The guy keeps missing and shooting the cans of oil, and the oil's all leaking out. And he's just like, all these cans keep springing leaks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. That sounds right. The opening line is Steve Martin saying, "I was born a poor black child."
Oh my god. That might be under the quotes, except I already closed it out. So.
Boo.
You wanna take some business questions?
Sure, why not? We're here.
Or do you want to do that? A relationship question?
Sure, we're here. I don't care.
I have business
I
questions.
just want to
already
give
pulled up.
people my
Advice?
opinions on everything.
Okay.
Because they're right.
All right, you ready?
Sure.
Tips to open a successful coffee shop business in London. I've tried doing jobs at different cafe and coffee shops as the marketing manager is what she meant to say.
At the marketing manager.
Idiot.
You do the job at the manager. No, don't insult them. These are our fans.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to open my own coffee shop this summer in London. So, I want to know, in the presence of too many coffee shops in London, what tips I should follow to attract more customers. I've targeted elders and families with features like old TV shows, etc., to add unique features in the business. However, what should I do to attract the working class or students?
Oh, okay. That's a good question.
All right.
My first thing is, when you're targeting people,
you need a laser sight, first of all.
You need a good laser sight, a finely calibrated precision laser sight. When you laser into their head, you will discover that everyone likes sex. Sex sells, okay? So you should be doing porn. Straight up porn, okay?
Playing porn on the TVs.
You and whoever else that works there with you, boyfriend, girlfriend, I'm not going to judge. Just get naked and jerk each other off and then send that to people in order to get more customers in. I guarantee you it will work because sex sells. Next is your biggest thing.
Wrong.
Your biggest thing is your opening face was you opened a coffee shop in London. And what do we say on our show? What's our catchphrase?
Location, location, location.
Doesn't matter at all.
Doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. So what are
Who
you doing?
gives a shit?
Yeah. What are you doing in London? What you should do is you should make your place more exclusive by putting it in additional in
the
a
Saharan desert.
Yeah, in the desert.
Which is a budding market right now.
Or off the coast. Right?
Yeah,
no
like on
one
an
ever
island.
thinks about that. Think about how much unused space and real estate there is right
on
off
the water.
in the water. Yeah.
So much.
And you know what? You'll be marketing to a different crowd. You can target pirates. You can target sailors, merchant ships. You can target army vessels, navy vessels, air force vessels. You can target a lot different and a lot more diverse crowd if you open your coffee shop in the ocean.
I had to break character. That's so...
What?
Of this lady opening a coffee shop in London and someone legitimately giving her the business advice of marketing to pirates by opening it on the sea.
How is that?
Oh my god, that's so funny.
He's doing a bit right now where he pretends their truly legitimate business advice is funny and not real. So do it, lady. Next question.
Okay, yeah, next question. I've got it pulled up right here. Oh my god, that one got me.
He broke character by doing a bit in our serious portion of the podcast.
Yes, that is true.
The bit where he thought it was funny that we were giving someone bad advice to marketing to pirates.
You should always market to pirates.
Always market to pirates.
It's a new catchphrase. Hi, me and my friends have a plan to start new business. To start the new... how do you do an Indian accent?
No.
To start...
You do Russian. That's
start the new business. No, that's Hispanic.
Yeah, not even close.
Can you do an Indian accent?
Just start doing accents until it lands. That's not Indian at all, dumbass. That's Middle Eastern.
That's Indian. Me and my friends have a plan to start new business. In
that sounded Russian.
I know.
They want to start new business.
I know. They want
Russian. My friends and I
me and my friends have planned to start new business in Chennai. We have already spent 1 lakh rupee, but we have... Buddy, stop licking the couch.
Does it actually say rupee?
Yeah, legitimately. But we have no clear idea to start which business is better. I'm literally just reading that. But we have no clear idea to start which business is better. Jesus fucking Christ.
So you want to start a business, but you don't know what business it is. Go on.
So please, anyone guide me to start business with this amount, and more important is that business will need to give a bright future. Let
me read this. I can't. Our fans are
fucking retarded, apparently.
Sometimes they don't spend much time on spell check. Hi, me and my friends have a plan to start a new business, and holy shit. We're ready to spend...
Right?
One amount of something.
Is that an I or an L? I couldn't tell.
Yeah. We have a clear idea to start which business. We have no clear. So, okay. They are really asking people to do all the work of starting a business for them. So we have money. What do we do? Okay. Well, that's easy.
Well, I think what they're asking is, what is the best business to start?
Yeah, if you have one
money that was
one unit of rupee, obviously we've talked about this on the show before. It's incredibly abundant.
Saharan Desert. Oh,
in the Saharan Desert. No, they told you where they wanted to start.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Second of all,
location doesn't matter. So
yeah. So leave that place, take your rupee, and go into chicken. Chicken is great field. Okay.
Holy shit! 100,000. It was an L. It's pronounced lake.
1 lake rupee?
It's 100,000 rupees.
So that's like what, 10 US dollars. Okay. So go into chicken, buy chicken, sell chicken, trade chicken, barter chicken. It's a perfect flawless business strategy. Now
it really is.
Now second, sometimes some people, they're not suited for chicken. Okay? Oh wow.
We weren't really wrong on that conversion, dude. Okay. That's not a lot of money for a business startup.
It's $1,400. Okay, so okay, so let's restructure this business. Okay, so
right, yeah, now okay. That we know how much money.
Put myself in a situation where I have $1,000. I want to start a business. Okay, what do I do? And I can't do chickens because each chicken's like is like
$100.
Yeah, so that's like 10 chickens. That's not going to get you far.
It's not enough.
Okay.
You know,
we need boats. You and I were on the same page. I know we were talking about this earlier, but it's a perfect idea because boats take little investment for a high yield.
Boats, motherfucker.
Boats. Okay, boats and snakes. All right, put those two ideas together.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
You
next.
are on
snakes.
a gold mine. Boats and snakes. Next question. We nailed that one.
Fucking got him.
Bing, 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 bing. Hey, can you actually add in the soundboard this time?
Big money.
Bad money.
Bad money.
Because it's bad, like bad to the bone. Not like we're giving you bad advice. So advice is actually solid.
Oh, that's
dude.
Okay.
I never answered. Like, so it took us a while to figure it out, but once we figured it out, like we nailed it.
We fucking nailed it.
We just made the next we made the next Rockefellers, Indian Rockefellers. Do you realize that?
Oh my god!
There is an Indian Rockefeller out there thanks to us. You're welcome.
You're welcome, motherfucker.
You're welcome. You're gonna be the first quadrillionaire. Okay.
Oh, here's a good question.
Okay. Go.
What would be the right age to start a startup?
Oh, okay. I mean, actually, this is interesting because my co-host and I actually have very differing opinions about this. Yep. All right. So to offer counterpoint, who do you want to start? How about we rock, paper, scissors? Ready?
Right,
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Shit.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Fuck!
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Okay. We threw the same thing 3 times in a row.
Okay, last one.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right,
there
cool.
we go.
I'll go first. Fucking hell,
I flew
man.
that one. I knew you were going scissors.
Did you really? That would be fucking amazing.
It's part of my strategy.
Okay. This is the amazing business advice you get from us.
Yeah,
I believe
I can predict rock, paper, scissors outcomes.
That's how good of a businessman he is. I personally believe that you should be 50 years or older when you start your first startup. I think you need at least 40 years of experience in the business to before you should start your startup.
And you know there is merit to that, but it's basically just a really dumb idea because business starts at birth. Okay, you're marketing yourself when you're sucking on the titty.
You see this shit?
Yeah, you are marketing yourself the moment that you come out of the womb. Okay,
and, you know, I will agree with Tyler that you should be making money even in the womb. I would say
I had 2 businesses when I was still gestating. Okay, I had a social media company where I was, and then a small promotional thing, and then I bought my first stock when I was 3 months old. Okay, and that's how I'm this successful to this day. However, I mean, there are a lot of 50-year-olds out there starting their business and they're doing successfully, but the problem is
because of all that experience.
But you get that experience by being rich already. Okay, that's the problem that you're creating.
But not every single one of your business adventures is worked out.
Yeah, okay, a lot of them failed, like Trump Steaks or Trump, but a lot of them worked really, really well, like Tesla and Trump.
The presidential election.
And my ties to Russian industry. Okay, I worked. Okay, when you are a business guy like
me,
hold
on. You know what we're gonna do after we're done recording. I gotta say this. This is important. We're gonna watch Bert Kreischer's new special on Netflix called Secret Time because it's fucking hilarious, and I want you to see it.
Oh, fuck you. I'm not watching shit.
All right.
I'm going to close my eyes and go, la, 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 la.
All right, back to business.
Anyways, you should be rich before you are starting your business.
See, I don't agree with that. I think that you need to fail to become successful.
Unless you're 50 years old and you only got one lake rupee, then boats and snakes.
Boats and snakes. That's your best bet.
That's the only way you can succeed. All right?
Really, it really is in this economy. Unless you're rich like us, then you go into the chicken business, in which case you're set for life.
But here's the most important thing. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. The thing about business is, you know,
location does not matter.
Location does not matter. Don't deal with customers. Customers ruin business. Mm-hmm. Unmarked vans stand out. Okay, paint your face. Mustaches are the most trusting thing. Everyone likes mustaches.
Everyone loves a man with a mustache.
Unmarked vans are really important to all businesses.
No beard, though. Only mustache.
Yeah, of course. I thought that was implied. Unmarked vans are important to all businesses. Mm-hmm. And then...
should not have a sign.
Yeah, no signs. I mean, it's everything that we've been saying up to this point. Because
it's all culminated
if you take all our business advices and you put it together, you are making more money than the world has to give you. Mm-hmm. That's just how much money we make. Mm-hmm. Okay?
You think we're doing this show for the money?
Yeah. We've been doing it free for like a year now.
Yeah, we don't give a shit about the money. We already have plenty of money.
We have all of the money, and it's just like we do this in our free time. between shooting poor people on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a pastime.
Yeah, we hunt them.
You know the movie Hostel? It's basically what we do.
Yeah, we just take poor people. No, it's more like The Most Dangerous Game.
Oh, okay.
And we throw them in the woods.
Yeah, that's true.
And we track them. We give them a 30-minute head start. We track them down, and we just shoot them and mount them on the wall.
I like to give them an hour head start. I'm a freak.
Sometimes I've given a guy a day head start. The thing is you know,
it's kinky.
Like poor people, they just don't hide that well. Okay.
Yeah,
you can always
true.
smell the poor.
Yeah.
You just go to the one place in the forest that smells like rotten wood or
You ever
dirt.
fuck them before you kill them?
No, I don't do that.
Me neither.
I do it for sport.
Me neither. I was asking for a friend.
I'm worried now.
You want to do another business question?
Yeah, I think we've been getting off topic, but we can do this.
How about some relationship advice?
I think that maybe that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Look, we've given you the greatest business advice in the world that exists. So we're going to need to put like maybe a week before we start giving you even better ideas that are even better than the ones we have. We haven't even thought about them. That's how great and revolutionary they are. They don't even exist. Okay? Cool.
Oh man, I found a real good question.
Okay. Is this from one of our fans? Yeah, guys, you gotta stop putting them like on the same thread.
Yeah, you got to start sending separate comments.
Just in the header, right? Relationship question, or business question. Now remember, direct business questions towards Buddy the dog, because he's actually our real secret, and direct relationship questions to Josh because he is very successcul.
I get a lot of pussy. My goal. Oh, whoa. Okay, this is worded weird.
They might not have understood that was a bit.
No, it wasn't. I am a 25-year-old.
He's got like 14 cats in here.
No, I fuck a lot of bitches.
And cats.
I am a 25-year-old male, and my girlfriend, 24 years old, that I had been dating for a year and a half, broke up with me to be with my roommate. I just heard them fucking through the wall.
Well, first of all, she was too young for you.
Right, you should only be dating older women.
Dude, cradle robber right there.
Coming from a guy who fucks a lot of bitches and gets a lot of puss, definitely go for older women. They're easier, they're sluttier, their pussies are easier to get wet. Their husbands aren't satisfying them, that's for sure.
So here's the thing. You feel hurt, you feel upset. Yeah, you're justified in that. This is what you gotta do.
Fuck your roommate.
That might actually work, but actually I was going the route. You should find both of their mothers, seduce them, fuck them, videotape it, and send it to them.
I like this plan better. That might be the best.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do.
And if they have
bang the mom,
bang the moms, bang the sisters, bang anyone in their family that's a female, and videotape them and send it to them. All right.
What you got to do is you got to sit your ex and your roommate down and go, I want you to watch this movie with me. It's really good. And then it's just video of you banging their moms side by side. Or
bang them both in a threesome. At the
same time, yeah.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Easy peasy. And we hire a cameraman, some lights, tell the moms it's a casting audition, just to get them hooked, But, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That will work. And guess what? You get twice the pussy than your roommate, so it's win-win. And, cougars are pretty great, so,
Oh, my God. I have found the best question. This is what we need to end the show on. I am a 36-year-old male, and my wife, who is 34 years old, has been having an affair with her own brother, and I realized our son might be theirs.
He might be an incest son.
Yeah.
Actual blood brother?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, hot.
First of all, porn. First of all, let's start filming those things and selling them on the internet.
Yeah, so I mean,
you know what? Here's my advice to you would be divorce this bitch. Have her just film her and her brother fucking and put it on Pornhub. You'll make
I watch tons of incest porn.
That's all I watch at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing that just gets me going.
It really is the only thing that gets me hard these
so,
days.
Yeah, you might lose someone who didn't love you, but you make a lot of money. So it balances out. We all know that money is more important than love and friends.
It really is.
Yeah. Love make the world go round, but money
creates the world.
Creates the world, yeah. Like, what is money? Baby, don't hurt me. You know the songs? They make the songs about money because money is important. Yeah. Okay? Why do you think rappers have fulfilling lives?
Because they're not fucking their
because they don't have sex. They have money. Okay? So you need to be thinking money. Okay? That's the perfect segue back into our business sense. Sometimes relationships are about making money. Okay? Record it, sell it online.
I don't know if I can do any more. That question just hurts.
On that note, we here at the Buddy Boys don't actually condone incest, actual incest.
I do.
And please,
hard stance of the Buddy Boys.
Please don't.
Incest is wincest.
However, incest between step siblings, totally cool. Totally record it. Totally send it to me.
I agree with that.
That is something.
Cousins. Down for cousins.
Yeah, cousins are far enough away. I don't care. And if it's not me putting my dick into one of my close family members, I don't mind.
One of your cousins.
Yeah. And then if it's like, yeah, I think that's the level. What if someone was doing their aunt?
That's weird.
Yeah.
Your mom or dad's sister is a little weird.
What if they were adopted?
That's fine.
What about your adopted sibling?
What?
If you had an adopted sister, could you bang her and it'd be cool?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
if
so...
I had an adopted sister, dude, if we weren't like...
So the Flash isn't weird. So Barry banging Iris is not a weird thing, even though he's basically their adopted brother.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Oh, whew.
Incest is wincest. Official stance of the Buddy Boys.
Incest. Okay, maybe I don't condone actual incest, but I do.
The show does.
But, and neither does the show if you're our sponsors, but if you're not our sponsors, then fuck you, we condone everything.
Nope.
We condone everything that you hate other sponsors that don't sign with us.
Tyler, you're going to have to get on board with this incest thing, man. We're going to have a real talk about your position on this show.
Oh, no. Don't put me in Buddy's position.
What?
I don't want to be Buddy. I want to be one of the boys.
You want to be one of the
Buddy boys.
I love the X-Files. I think I'm going to start watching it again.
That was the Doctor Who theme.
No, it's X-Files. Don't you fucking slander the X-Files with that shit.
You slander the Doctor Who with the X-Files.
X-Files is the OG, you fucking cunt.
Doctor Who's the OG. It came out years before X-Files.
Alright, that's right. They had the 60s Doctor Who. It sucked.
But maybe the X-Files was made so far in the past that it's from the future.
That might be true. You never know.
Do you ever wonder if you went, like that Futurama episode, if you went to the end of time, if like a new universe would just bang and start over?
Oh, that's one of my favorite episodes. It's so, I mean, it's one of my, okay, I should clarify. It's one of my favorite episodes because every single time I've watched it, I've just been super stoned. And so it
like, has that song.
Yeah.
And 10,000 and a half. Mankind was slaved by a giraffe or whatever.
And it's fucking, and like, so when you're high, that episode is not funny. It just hurts your brain. But I love it. I don't know, man. That's a good question. I don't know.
I think about that a lot because even physicists say like, well, vacuum is zero, but like there's things we don't understand, we haven't observed yet. What if there's a state below absolute zero and below like all that?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
is there another tier? Like in like 100 million years, we won't be able to see the galaxies because they'll be traveling too far away to know that they even exist. So what existed earlier that we will never see because it got flung too far away?
Well, the thing is, the Big Bang, the chances of humans being created were so slim to begin with that I have a feeling I don't think it would. I think life would start. I just don't think humans would come back. I think it'd be some other form of life. Especially on Earth. Earth would definitely have some form of life.
Well, planets that are this far from the sun and have liquid water and form.
The Earth is like the
Well,
only.
but see, the Earth formed purely by chance too, because the Earth was like the theory states that like two planet-sized objects slamming into each other, one being the Earth, one being the Moon, eventually, and then just like the right chemical compound to have water and being in the right spot. So like if you did another identical universe, those two planets might not collide together.
Right.
Mars might be bigger.
Right.
Venus might have an atmosphere.
Our axis might be 10 degrees off and we all melt.
Yeah. Or the Earth might not spin.
Exactly.
Or a solar flare just blew up everything at the very beginning of the solar system.
I don't know, man. I think that if on this world, in this universe, I think that life would begin again on Earth. I don't think humans would begin again. I think humans was a very rare chance to begin with. I could be wrong. I'm not a physicist. I could be wrong.
No, it's very rare. But in the same environment, this is a very successful evolutionary design.
Oh, yeah.
Opposable thumbs being about 2 meters tall or less than 2 meters, like 1.5 meters, right?
High intelligence, consciousness.
Yeah, big brain, teeth that can eat anything. We can eat meat and vegetables. Yeah.
Bipedal.
So like, I feel like if lemurs started like using tools and getting smarter, they would just make tiny humans like hobbits or something. Like I feel like as primates, the inevitable body plan converges into what looks like Homo sapien. And,
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
And so, but then again,
what could literally be, I could get behind the idea that the next intelligent life on Earth would be something like gorillas. That would make sense. Like a primate.
But at the same time, I could also buy like a really smart reptile stepping up its game at some point.
Yeah, because reptiles are insanely resilient.
Yeah, so like, say if the Earth becomes a big desert again, like that's why they took over, because Pangea was so dry, it had a big desert everywhere, so reptiles moved in and then became the dinosaurs. And there were some notably smart dinosaurs, like I think duckbills were supposed to have some pretty decent intelligence.
Well,
and almost like a primitive form of communication.
Pangea was mostly lusciousness. In the center of Pangea, there was what we now call the Saharan Desert, but Pangea was mostly lush green.
No, because Pangea was so landlocked that the tidal winds couldn't carry in that far. That's why the vast majority of Pangea was actually a desert. But yes, like around the sizes, and then like down in Antarctica, that was a forest.
Yeah.
So like there were very tropical, very wooded areas on Earth, but like when we had a supercontinent, most of it was dead. And I think that's what's get fucking Africa over, because Africa's our biggest continent. So like when the coastal winds can't reach that far in, shit dies.
Mm-hmm. That's why Africa is a shithole country.
My theory would be, what if we took a comet full of water ice and just crashed it into the desert?
That would work.
I mean, after killing everyone, would it make it better?
Oh, you mean like kill off society?
No. I don't mean like kill off society. I mean like, I don't want it to kill people, but like that's kind of inevitable. But would it give it enough water to like make some lakes, make some desert go away?
I mean, there's already enough water. It might kill all the land, but there's already enough water on Earth.
What if we start doing man-made continental drift?
That'd be
ripped a continent in half to get like an ocean in between it. So
that'd be sick as fuck.
Yeah, think about it.
So fucking cool. You know what I've always wanted?
Because like the tundra's kind of like that too. It's like the cold version of a desert.
Did you ever read the Pendragon books?
No.
It's this book series about this kid who like finds a portal that can go to these different worlds, and like one of them's like a forest world with a mine, and one of them's like an asteroid world, I think. And one of them's like a heaven-like world, and it's a really good book series. But the second book is a water world, and it's like they have no land, so they live underwater and then just travel above water.
So it's basically like that one moon off of Saturn, but or Jupiter, but without the traveling on land part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sick. I've always wanted to live underwater.
Like being an Atlantean.
Yeah, I always thought that. Well, I wouldn't want to swim underwater because I don't want to get eaten by a shark. But
well, if Neptune was your king, I think you'd be fine.
Or Poseidon, maybe.
Poseidon, whoever.
Poseidon.
Poseidon and Neptune are the same guy.
Poseidon.
They're the same guy.
Are they really?
Yeah, one's just the Latin version of the Greek god.
That's gay.
Neptune being the better one because
that's gay.
The Roman names won in the end.
Nope, that's gay.
But if Aquaman's your king, then you're fucked.
No, Aquaman kicks ass.
Aquaman would be like the Duke of the oceans, I feel, though.
Aquaman is the king of the water. Aquaman, if you watch... I actually just rewatched the old animated Justice League stuff, and Aquaman was bad fucking ass. He, like, comes out of the water riding a fucking giant whale. Like, he controls all of the water.
Please say that you're doing a bit.
No, Aquaman in the old Justice League kicks ass.
You're doing a bit.
No.
You have to be doing a bit.
No.
Aquaman.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. He sacrifices his arm to save his son. He cuts his own arm off to save his child.
Aquaman.
Aquaman almost ended the world in the first part of Justice League.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Water guy.
Yeah.
You're doing a bit, man.
So you're saying Poseidon doesn't kick ass?
Yeah. Hades is way better than Poseidon.
You're not wrong, but Poseidon's still cool.
Mars was a badass too.
No one, don't use the fucking faggoty Roman names.
I don't know the Greek names.
You fucking Italian fuck.
Who cares about Greece? They failed the EU. Now they've failed me.
Failed the EU. Keep up with EU politics.
I keep up with the EU. If you do the EU wrong, you do me wrong.
Jesus.
You do me.
Hard stance
wrong.
over here.
Yeah, fuck Greece. This is going to be the name of this episode. Fuck Greece. But
I'll make it Fuck Grease, the TV movie.
yeah, name it like a grease stain because that's what they are, a stain. Oh,
Society.
So fun fact, my brother-in-law was telling me about a class he's in, and he's like, I want you to answer this question. What do you think has been considered the most notable thing that Western society has introduced to the world? Like the most
mechanized infantry.
See, that's what I thought too, but like the Huns and everyone, like having a mobile infantry has been around for a while.
I didn't say mobile. I said mechanized.
I was thinking, I was like, it might have to be something like that. Or I was just saying, just like industrialism in general.
Well, the way I'm looking at it is, other than the French Revolution, the most important moment in history would be World War II. So if we think about the things that made World War II such a big deal, that was kind of like where it stemmed off.
You're probably right for what the professor's argument was. His argument was genocide. Genocide is a Western culture thing.
Well, that's wrong.
Native Americans and
there had been genocide in Eastern cultures before. Even like the Crusades was basically a genocide.
Yeah, that's Western culture.
No, that's from Europe.
Yeah, that's Western culture. Europe is West. Are you considering American to be the only Western culture? I mean, like.
Do you mean Western Hemisphere or Eastern Hemisphere?
I mean, like what we consider the West, which is Europe and America. That's what Western culture is.
No, Europe.
So if you listen to like Western culture music, they referred like Bach as a Western composer.
No, Europe is not included in Western culture.
Yes, because the East is Asia. That's why they call it the Far East, even though it's to the west of us. Because everything's Eurocentric.
Wait, even though it's to the west?
Asia is to the west of us and the east, because you just pick a direction. But Asia is more close to the east of us, or to the west of us. If the quickest way to get to Asia is to go west from America.
Yeah.
But they would call it the Far East, because Western society, aka Europe, called them the Far East.
Well, they called it the Far East before America was a thing.
Exactly.
No, you're wrong.
But they were the West.
No, you're wrong because listen,
I cannot believe you are arguing Europe is not West. That is a well-known fact they teach you in middle school.
I'm literally about to Google it.
Do it, please. Prove me right. I guarantee, on any reason of doubt, I guarantee you, Europe is considered Western culture, Western society.
Okay, well, I found Western culture, but I gotta...
Or Western society. Look at it's Europe and the Americas.
I'm trying to find, like, a map or something.
You would consider, like, Bach Western music, and then you would consider, like, Hiroshima Akatami Eastern music.
Western culture includes countries in the Americas and Australasia.
And Europe.
No.
No, I don't fucking buy that. Let me show you.
No.
Western society.
I'm telling you, you're wrong.
Look up Western music and look up, like...
You want me to look up Western society?
Yeah,
I'll look up Western society.
I'm just going to tell you what is considered the West.
Western countries. What are the Western countries? United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and parts of Latin America. Oh, look, Western world. Perfect.
Western world refers to various nations depending on context, most often including at least part of Europe, Australia, and the Americas. With the status of Latin America sometimes being disputed.
I wonder where Latin America is disputed.
Yeah, I don't know. Because
everything I'm reading says America and Australasia.
But this says Europe right here. It's got to highlight it on a map. That's like the Western world. Type in the Western world.
That's literally what I'm looking at, and it's saying...
I'm looking at a map right here, and it's highlighting Europe.
On Wikipedia?
Well, I mean, Google said the same thing.
No, Google did not say the same thing.
Yeah, it did. Google showed me that map.
Look, scroll down, you fucking idiot. What is the Western world?
Western world, also known as West, in contrast to the Orient, is a term referring to different nations depending on context.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, well...
There are many accepted definitions about what they have in common.
This is also from Wikipedia. What are the Western countries? United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. That's from a Wikipedia article.
The concept
Western
of Western
world.
part of Earth has its roots in Greco-Roman civilizations in Europe and the advent of Christianity. In the modern era, culture has been heavily influenced by the traditions of Renaissance, Protestant Reformation, Age of Enlightenment.
Well, now I'm getting all the ones that's like, well, you can subdivide it to all of these.
This is Science Daily. This is actually a
I just read that one, and it says...
I just read to you the quote that said Europe. The exact one.
The first
second
sentence?
line. The Western world, also known as the West. Latins, Oceans, Sunset West, blah, blah. Contrast to Orient. Term referring to different nations depending on context.
What paragraph is that?
The very third one. Western part of Earth has its roots in Greco-Roman civilization in Europe.
I literally don't see that.
There's the opening line. There's the second. There's the third paragraph.
Oh, I'm looking at Western culture.
This is the Western world.
Whoops. Oh, but this is also from... Does yours say from Wikipedia at the top?
No, this says Science Daily.
No, I mean right there.
Oh, yeah, it does actually say reference terms from... Damn. Science Daily, you failed me. See, that's a good thing about research. But anyways, it does look like you could dispute it to say it's not
because
Europe,
if you think about music and how people say the Beatles influenced Western music, meaning American music.
No, they don't say that.
Yes, they do.
No,
Are you
they
crazy?
do not say that. They say it influenced pop music and American music.
No, it influenced Western music.
That would be all music, like British and American music. But yeah, I mean, I
guess you could say it that way too.
Because they influenced Radiohead, and Radiohead is a good example of Western pop music.
They're not. They're not Western. No,
yes, they are.
They're not. Europe is not considered in the Western Hemisphere.
Is considered Western.
No, it's not.
That is a well-known fact, dude.
No, it's not.
It is a well-known fact.
You just proved that it's maybe not so well-known.
Well, it can. They said it can be disputed, but everything I looked up said Europe and America, and it says
everything I looked up said not Europe and Australia.
Because you only see what you want to read. Okay. Okay, what'd you look up? I want to look up what you looked up.
Okay, hold on. Now I gotta go back and look at what
Western. I looked up. You looked up culture.
I looked up Western society and Western culture.
Okay, Western culture. Let's see what it says here. That I could believe being American, but Americans influenced by Europe. But once again, the map that it shows on Western culture has Europe highlighted.
No, I don't think that map is supposed to be highlighted.
Okay, look, Western,
this one.
I googled.
This one, yeah, but that's I don't think
Western culture is sometimes equated with Western civilization.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Western
I thought they were
Western
different
society
shades.
and European civilization is a term used broadly to refer to heritage and social blah blah blah. So that one included Europe.
This one?
Yeah.
No, it says, for example, Americas and Australasia. Western culture includes
Look at the very, very top. It says Europe right in the top in bold. European civilization. In bold.
Oh.
It's bolded. They can't emphasize it more.
Well, it does say sometimes equated with.
Yeah, I can, like
no,
I said.
It's saying some Western culture is sometimes equated with, or what I think they mean, people call Western culture Europe civilization sometimes. So you would still be right in that sense.
What I'm saying is you could make the argument that, like, not everyone would consider Europe West, but pretty much everyone considers the Europe West. Because Western culture, like, even if you're just referring to America, America's was heavily influenced by Europe. And they were not at all influenced at all by what Asia.
Everything that America is based off of something that Europe did.
Yeah.
Specifically in Greece.
Anyways, so the genocide comes from the first real case of genocide was killing the Native Americans.
No.
Which is a Western culture. So it's America anyways.
No, that's not the first case
of genocide. The first, like, mass case of it.
I could literally think of other genocide. The Armenian genocide came before it.
Which is Europe, which is Western. No, Armenian was not before it. Armenian was recent.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're talking about
Native Americans.
The thing is, the Native American population slowly declined and then, like, dropped off in the late 1800s.
You could make a strong argument that we committed a form of genocide.
I mean, we did.
Yeah.
We 100% did.
And
you know, there's less than 1% Native Americans left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we committed a genocide against Native Americans.
And
I just don't think that's the first genocide.
But I mean, there might be other cases, like in the Bible, like when those tribes went off and killed each other, but that's not really proven. You know.
Oh, here's pre-World War I. Oh, I mean, that's still too early. Okay, what? Now they're just giving me definitions for genocide.
What was the earliest genocide? What? I'm sure you could, like, argue a case for it, but I feel like the American ones was like kind of where it became a big thing.
Dude, now I'm just getting all this shit that's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, genocide should be is different from blah, 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 blah. I'm blah, 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 blah.
What was the first case of genocide is what I'm Googling.
I Googled first genocide. I found an article that says the first genocide of the 20th century happened in Namibia. That looks interesting. I might have to save that later.
Yeah.
Here's one that says Carthage.
Which is Rome?
Yeah. 146 BC. I think it's actually a scholarly article. I should click it. Yeah, this is from Yale. That's fucking sick.
Nice.
Maybe the first recorded. Yeah. Yeah, this article from Yale says that genocide was in Carthage after this, when conqueror Hannibal came in the Second Punic War. Huh. That's cool.
So, yeah. That was our contribution to society as the Western world. Genocide.
Yeah, I think that's true. I would agree that the biggest thing the Western world has ever done would be genocide.
Because my first thing I said was, like, I was like, well, other people done genocide. I was like, the Russians and that happened in Africa and Rwanda and all this other places. He's like, yeah, after. And I was like, oh, but then the America, oh, but Europe, oh. I'm just like, but I still feel like industrialism, in my opinion, is a bigger stapler. I don't think that was a purely Western thing, because Eastern cultures had forms of industrialization, but industrialization as we see it, as the way we see it as we do today, came from England.
Industrialism hit Europe first, and it didn't do very well, and America took it, and it blew up because we had more space and more resources.
But they talk about, like, with the advent of like rice farming in China, they were able to feed more population, and they had to invent some technologies to do that, which is a form, not true, but it is a form of industrialization. But it's not. Once again, we still say that they were industrialized later, so therefore it was an industrialization.
Yeah, I would still say
so. Therefore, it was a Western thing, and that's why I say that's something you can argue. But you could also argue it was going to happen if we didn't do it.
You could also argue that before we even started killing Native Americans in large numbers, the French Revolution happened, and that killed basically 2 generations of French people.
So.
But that wasn't really a genocide. That was
genocide.
Yeah, that was them killing themselves.
Yeah, killing yourself.
I mean, I don't know. I was just thinking I was thinking about it from a point of what are the biggest things to ever happen in history and in modern history. I mean, there are some things that happened before the French Revolution that are important.
I would like to hope that in the history books we talk about the agricultural revolution and we talk about the industrial revolution. I really hope that it's not like we also have the genocide revolution.
Yeah, that would suck.
Unless in the future we start doing a Soylent Green thing, which I'm okay with. As long as it's not based off of race, creed, or color, okay? If you're just grinding people up for food just because you need food, and it's like you do it to a Jew and a black guy and a white guy, I'm okay with that.
Blacks only.
I'm okay with equally grinding up people for food.
Nope, blacks aren't people.
Because that's not genocide. Genocide is where you only grind up one type of person for food. So
no, not if they're black, because black people aren't people. So technically, I guess wouldn't be genocide. Or murder.
I can't. One of the Google questions when I was typing in genocide is like, is genocide illegal? And I'm like,
yeah, no shit. Shit, you fucking dumbass.
I committed a little genocide earlier today.
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, I was out genociding earlier today.
Unless you're like genociding an anthill, you're like, I killed this strain of ants.
Like, I guess I don't think that counts as genocide.
I wish it did.
I do hate ants, though.
I wish we could just commit a genocide on mosquitoes. I think we should change the term to killing mosquitoes.
Oh, I thought that was going to be bigger.
Actually, we probably shouldn't change the term. We should probably just kill mosquitoes. Terms just get in the way.
You know what sucks about mosquitoes?
Them.
Other than that.
But that was a good one.